Mike, you saw a tweet from Mark Stein that saying that the Mavericks' priorities right now are Kyle Lowry and Tim Hardaway.
Yeah, that's what the Mavericks are looking at post-draft. So they don't have any draft picks. And once it's over, pretty much free agency starts. The interesting thing here, as soon as you sign Tim Hardaway Jr., and people get this confused, you can't sign Kyle Lowry, go to the cap number,
3 for 90, yeah,
and then keep Tim Hardaway Jr. and sign him for like a 4 for 80 contract. That's not the way it works. The cap hold on Tim Hardaway Jr. is going to be approximately $20 million. So once you, let's say, sign Kyle Lowry, if you just were to do this straight up sign and you used all your cap space, you lose the cap hold for Tim Hardaway Jr. So now the best you could offer Tim Hardaway Jr., I believe, is mid-level exception.
Okay, all right. So
I'm not even sure if you can do that.
So if you're going to have to move some pieces to do a sign and trade, I'm guessing, and I'm trying to figure out which pieces would be. I guess Josh Richardson is clearly coming up.
Kyle Lowry wants 3 years, $90 million. And I think he's going to get that because there's a team like the New York Knicks who have $50 million in cap space who are interested in him. The New Orleans Pelicans just opened up cap space. And just think about, I was thinking about this through Chris Paul, and I don't think he's going to go to back to New Orleans. But if you have Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram, and Jonas Valanciunas, isn't that a Phoenix Suns situation that Chris Paul went to and took to the NBA Finals?
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden, I'm getting one of the best young players in the game, a guy who made the All-Star team 2 years ago who's under 25 years old, I believe, in Ingram, and then Valanciunas, who averaged 17.5 and 12.5 last year at 29 years old, and I can sign there for that money, and I can be the main ball handler, right? Because if you come here with Luka and you're Kyle Lowry, you're going to be playing off the ball the majority of the time.
Yeah, I'm still kind of curious as to, is Zion one of those guys that does better as not necessarily bringing it up every time, but he can. He can be a guy where the ball goes through him a lot, and that's one of the reasons I believe that Brandon Ingram's kind of struggling is because he's having to be that, off-ball guy where he can do other things too, and it kind of becomes, well, it's isolation ball, and we're not really doing that. But yeah, Kyle Lowry, it kind of depends on what he wants at this point, right?
And also,
does he just want the money, or is he really wanting to compete?
He wants a championship team. And I'll tell you what, the way that you predicted Phoenix, I'll predict if he goes to New Orleans, I'll predict that they're a top 5 seed next year in the Western Conference.
That's a really strong prediction. I guess I had seen, one of the reasons I did, Mike, was because I'd seen what he did with Oklahoma City, what Chris Paul did with Oklahoma City. Mm-hmm. And when Kyle Lowry was in Toronto,
they won the championship
with Kawhi. And he was the perfect pair for Kawhi, right? Like Van Vliet, he benefited so much from Kawhi and Lowry in that stretch. But I don't know, was Lowry the reason, or was Kawhi more the reason of what they were able to accomplish?
Kawhi was more the reason.
And Siakam came on, and you were like, whoa, where'd that come from? But that would be a very interesting.
The other thing too is if we're really interested in Kyle Lowry, then what does that say about Jalen Brunson? Because if you get Kyle Lowry and you obviously are keeping Luka, then Brunson has no place on this team. So he would be used in a trade. Now, would he go back to Toronto? You got to match salary somewhat there.
Yeah, so that's why
he's $1.8 million versus $30 million. You're way off on matching salaries.
So you're squeezing Richardson in. That's going to give you how much of a difference?
11. So now you're at 12.8. You still need another about 12 to 15 million. 8 million.
All right, so you're still a little off there. So you still need to maybe Brunson, Maxey, and Josh Richardson, and you can swing something with Lowry.
I don't like that because you're very weak at your big guy positions already. So if you lose Maxey, and I think Maxey's a good guy to come off the bench for 20 minutes, but right now he's your starter. He has to play 30 to 35 minutes on this team as it's constructed today. He shouldn't have to play that much, but he has to because of your lack of talent on your team. In fact, it's funny watching the Luka game the other day is that in the Olympics, and it's the guy who, and I'm sorry I'm drawing a blank on his name. I'm horrible with names, but he covers the NBA for ESPN when it comes to the draft and international stuff.
Who, Jason Gavoni?
Yes, and he's pretty much saying...
Or Jonathan Gavoni, rather.
No, it's the older dude. It's older than Gavoni. I know I know who that guy is. He's the older guy. But anyways, he's pretty much saying, look, it's obvious. Luka's one of the best players in the world as he's going off for 48. He's like, but the Mavericks don't have enough talent around him. Like everybody knows, the Mavericks as constructed are not good around Luka. It's not close to good enough to be around Luka. But if you lose Maxi Kleber in a trade and you don't go get another nice big guy, you're going to run out there Porzingis, who's going to miss 20% of the games. And that's being optimistic. Then you're going to have Dwight Powell as your other starter, backed up by Willie Cauley-Stein and Boban, and that's your big guy rotation for a whole season?
Yeah.
That's pathetic.
So
that's not good. That's pathetic if that's your 4 guys. So I worry about trading Maxi right now if you're not getting a big guy back who's better than Maxi.
Powell's untradeable in that situation because Toronto's trying to rebuild.
Powell's not untradeable, but he's untradeable to a team like Toronto. I don't like.
They want him for 3 years, and
it's 2 at 22.5 is what he has left.
Would they want that on their roster? I mean, it's great leadership, right? From what we're told, it's maybe a
not
personality.
Just he tries hard.
He's a good personality to have in your locker room.
He is from Canada, so maybe that would give them something. I don't know.